gentlemen, please welcome all WSPD and other sworn personnel. Just keep it going. We're coming in. As these brave men and women file in, let's let them feel our gratitude and our thanks for what they do every day. Let's let them feel appreciated. Okay, I think they're all in now. So before I get started, and this is a little off the script, but I hope you guys heard that applause, and I hope you felt it, and know that you are in a room full of people who love you and who appreciate you and who are thankful for what you do. And I am honored to work with you all. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So you may be seated. All right, good morning, everyone. I am Kyra Boyd, and I proudly serve as the Public Information Officer for the Winston-Salem Police Department. And it is my pleasure to welcome each of you as we gather to celebrate the graduation of Winston-Salem Police Academy Class 77. Please rise as the recruits from the Winston-Salem Police Department's 77th Academy enter the room, along with WSPD training staff. Please remain standing as the WSPD's Honor Guard presents our colors and for the singing of the national anthem by Corporal Florette Gregory Phillips. During the singing of the national anthem, it is the protocol of the Winston-Salem Police Department that sworn law enforcement officers salute if they are wearing their hat, and professional staff place their right hand over their hearts. We would be honored if you would join us appropriately.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight over the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. You may be seated. Before we begin the ceremony, let us take a moment of silence for prayer or reflection. Thank you. On October 18th, 2021, the 77th Winston-Salem Police Academy convened, and the men and women we will recognize today began a quest to become Winston-Salem police officers. The coming weeks were filled with challenges and difficulties and greater accomplishments, all culminating today with the 15 individuals seated before you who have fulfilled that mission and now begin a new pursuit, one of public service and self-sacrifice. I would like to take this moment to thank our special guests we have in attendance today. Would any city council members please rise? Thank you. We would like to recognize our city manager and other assistant city managers who are in attendance. Would you all please rise? And Mr. Garrity's our city manager. He didn't rise. It's okay. And to all of our special guests, including their friends and family who supported the recruits on their journey, thank you for sharing this special moment with us. I would also like to recognize any representative from any other public safety agency within the city of Winston-Salem or outside of the city. Please stand to be recognized. Thank you for sharing this special moment with us. The city of Winston-Salem is guided by a council made up of 8 members and led by Mayor Alan Joines. With 30 years of experience, Joines retired as the deputy city manager in the year 2000. He was first elected mayor in 2001. He is now serving in his 4th term as mayor. Mayor Alan could not be with us physically today, but he has prepared an audio message for us. So let's take a listen.
Hello everyone, I'm Alan Joines, the mayor of Winston-Salem, and it's my pleasure to greet you this morning virtually as it is. I regret very much that I could not be with you in person today, but I had a long-standing out-of-town trip on my calendar that I could not move. But I did want to be here virtually to say to you, first of all, to the families and friends that are here today, thank you for your support of these individuals over the past several weeks as they've been going through training and getting ready for today. But most of all, I want to say to the graduates of this class, to say thank you deeply on behalf of all the citizens of Winston-Salem for your willingness to step up and to help provide public safety to our citizens. You know, a city government, one of the most important things that we do is to ensure the public safety of our citizens, our fire and our police departments. Police department's a tough job, as you know. It's one that you're under constant scrutiny from the public. It's dangerous, and a lot of long hours out there, maybe away from your family. So I really appreciate your willingness to take on this mantle of protection for our citizens. Let me just say this, that I strongly support the city manager's recommendations as he's bringing forward in the budget this year in terms of salary adjustments for our police officers. You know, we obviously can't pay you what we'd like to, but we're going to adjust our salaries to make us even more competitive with other cities and to recognize the important work and the dangerous work and the special work that you do for all of our citizens. Let me just once again thank the families for your support of these folks, and now as they go into the next phase, they're going to continue to need that support going forward. So on behalf of all of our citizens, our 250,000 of us here in Winston-Salem, I say congratulations to this class. May you have a very long and safe career with the city of Winston-Salem. Thank you very much.
Next on our program was Mayor Pro Tem Denise D. Adams. Regretfully, Mayor Pro Tem Denise Adams was unable to join us today for the ceremony. However, she asked that I convey her deepest appreciation for the accomplishments of the graduating class, and she thanks you all for your service that you are preparing to give the citizens of our great city. Councilmember James Taylor Jr. is in his second term as the council member of the Southeast Ward. Councilmember Taylor is a 2003 graduate of the Criminal Justice Program at North Carolina Central University in Durham. He began his tenure as chairman of the Public Safety Committee in May 2021. Please welcome Councilmember of the Southeast Ward, James Taylor Jr.
Good morning. I have the honor and privilege of bringing greetings on behalf of the Winston-Salem City Council. I always bring greetings on behalf of the Public Safety Committee. I'm joined here today with Council Members Larson and Mundy. We thank you for serving, and together, I'm sure we stand united in our support for the Winston-Salem Police Department. I will say to Recruit Class 77, I want to thank you for your commitment and for your service to this community. I am a firm believer that the highest call of service that you can answer is the one to serving this community. I will say that you are joining the most elite police department in all of the United States of America, and I'm going to say that again because I think that deserves applause, and I want you to hear me sincerely. I believe that the Winston-Salem Police Department is the greatest police department in all of the United States of America. If you agree with that, please give a thunderous round of applause. So you see, it's not just me. So again, thank you for hearing and answering the call to service. To the family and friends, thank you for sharing them with us. There's going to be some long days, long nights, some times where you can't sleep. But just know you are doing the right thing and you are moving our community forward. And I got to say, you're doing it at a time, all of our officers are heroes, but you're doing it at a time where it's extremely heroic. This is one of the most challenging times in our city's history, in our country's history, and we're going to do this thing together and we can turn this community around. So again, to all the police department, to all the officers who serve, thank you for your service, and we appreciate everything you do to help our city to be a better place to live, work, and relax. I also have the honor and privilege of introducing our Speaker of the Hour. Our Speaker of the Hour is Secretary Buffalo, and I'll read just a little bit about him. Governor Roy Cooper appointed Eddie Buffalo Jr. as Secretary of the North Carolina Department of Public Safety, effective November the 1st, 2021. Prior to his appointment, he worked a dual role as Elizabeth City's interim city manager and the director of the Elizabeth City's Department of Public Safety. Buffalo also served as the president of the North Carolina Association of Chiefs of Police. Buffalo's work in various law enforcement and public safety capacities across the state have included police chief positions in 2 of North Carolina Sheriff's Departments, a correctional officer in the North Carolina Department of Correction, and as a law enforcement instructor for the North Carolina Training and Standards Commission. Buffalo also served in the North Carolina National Guard for 10 years. Buffalo holds a bachelor's degree in criminal justice administration from the University of Mount Olive, a master's degree in criminal justice administration from Grand Canyon University, and numerous law enforcement and public safety certifications. He currently works as an adjunct professor in the criminal justice departments at North Carolina Wesleyan College and the College of Albemarle. Please welcome Secretary of Department of Public Safety, Eddie Buffalo, Jr.
Thank you, sir. Let me say to the mayor in his absence and to the members of the city council and city officials and city manager Garrity and Chief Thompson, to the Winston-Salem Police Department command staff, members of the Winston-Salem Police Department, distinguished guests, family, friends, all saints and all who ain't, good morning. I bring you greetings from Governor Cooper. He's grateful for your service to the city and to the state. And on behalf of the 26,000 members of the Department of Public Safety and 13,000 North Carolina Army National Guard and Airmen, bring you greetings from them as well. And thank you, Chief Thompson, for the invitation to extend this honor and privilege to speak to your graduating class. And I want to extend a warm welcome to the cadets of Class 77, who today formally enter the family of the law enforcement profession. I also want to offer my congratulations to you all, and you have been working towards this day for more than 7 months, and you've successfully completed this demanding 31 weeks of course of instruction, and this is why we're here today. But I also want to say thank you and congratulations to your family and your friends and others who have supported you through this journey. It hasn't been easy, and it will continue to be challenging at times. Your continued nurturing and support are greatly appreciated, and they're certainly needed in years to come. But if I just may take just a few moments to leave you with a thought, and I'm not going to be before you long, a thought or a topic that you can take with you and hopefully it'll resonate with you. And that topic is, it matters whose hands you put things in. It matters whose hands you put things in. On today, the city of Winston-Salem and the Winston-Salem Police Department will be placing in your hands the mission to protect life and property by providing an exceptional police services to your community in partnerships with the citizens of Winston-Salem. Into your hands, they have placed the core values of leadership, transparency, professionalism, commitment, integrity, and public service. Into your hands, they have placed the faith and trust to serve your community with the utmost honor, dignity, and respect. As a former police chief, the most difficult thing that we do as administrators and police department officials is hire the right person, placing that authority in their hands. As a police chief, it matters whose hands we put things in. Today, Chief Thompson has placed the trust into your hands as an extension of her hand. In the world we live in today, we know that violent crime is going in the wrong direction, and you can expect to encounter and will be charged with resolving serious conflicts on a frequent basis in your new career. You will see and encounter assaults, domestic violence, substance abuse, and in many forms, and the toll it takes on a weight of too many people that we see every day. You will encounter persons in all manners of distress and meet people at their very worst time in their life. The conflict management strategies you've learned in the academy will be crucial in your day-to-day interactions, and you will go on your call for service for the very first time. You have learned to normalize conflict and the realization that your job won't always be easy. You are trained to work under stress and that you can be effective in crisis situations and still make effective, good decisions. You see, it matters whose hands you put things in. You have been trained to be confident but not cocky in stressful situations, and to be sure of your ability to still operate amidst the greatest chaos while keeping yourself safe and others and restoring peace. You have been challenged through practical demonstrations in high-level and critical incident situations so that when you go into your first high-pressure critical incident, you will be ready. Again, I say, it matters whose hands you put things in. Well, let me make it plain just in case you didn't get it. Let me make it real plain in a real-world context. When the Los Angeles Lakers wanted to win an NBA championship, they put the ball in Kobe Bryant's hands. When the ladies on the tennis team wanted to go and win a Wimbledon tennis match, they didn't put it in our mistress of ceremonies' hands. They put the tennis racket in Serena Williams' hands. You see, if you're playing in the World Series and it's the 9th inning, bases are loaded, it's 2 outs, and the score is 1-0, and your team is losing, and you're up to bat, whose hands do you want to put the bat in? You see, there are some players called Babe Ruth and Willie Mays and Hank Aaron. They put the bat in their hands. You don't want to put the bat in Assistant Weaver's hands. So it matters whose hands you put things in. If you're going to leave tomorrow and go have knee surgery, you don't want to put the scalpel in Dr. Phil's hands. You want to put the scalpel in an orthopedic surgeon's hands. So it matters whose hands you put things in. You know, when the city manager placed the police department in the hands of Katrina Thompson, some 4.5 years ago, I can recall when Chief Thompson took the oath of office, one of her sisters, Monica, came up to the podium and gave Chief Thompson a nice briefcase. And in that briefcase, she wrote out some values, some family values, and her sister didn't give her an empty briefcase. She gave her some values called listen, respect, understanding, empathy, sympathy, and be kind. Chief Thompson has shown you, the Winston-Salem Police Department, in this state, that leadership matters, and those departmental and family core values matter. So on today, I believe that Chief Thompson is placing into your hands those same values: to listen, to be respectful, to have an understanding, to have empathy and show sympathy, and most certainly be kind. In a few moments, your clerk of court is going to administer the oath of office. Some of you are going to swear, some of you are going to affirm to support the Constitution of the United States. And you will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina, and the constitutional powers and authorities will be placed in your hands. It truly matters whose hands you put things in. Never forget the reason that you're wearing the badge over your heart, because service begins in the heart. Into your hands will be placed the call to serve, which is a great privilege and honor. So never lose sight of confidence and trust that is being placed in your hands. Continue to evolve, adapt, strive to learn, and do more. It is how we progress as a profession, a society. It is your moral compass, and it will make you a great officer, but more importantly, it'll make you a great person. This profession is a true calling on your life. So serve faithfully and honorably and do credit to this worthy, noble profession called law enforcement. Again, I offer my congratulations and on your achievement for answering the call to serve and protect others. I truly believe it is a calling from Almighty, and the trust is at the heart of why you have been chosen. And why have you been chosen? Because today it has been placed in your hands. God bless you.
Thank you, Secretary Buffalo. I think it's safe to say that we're in good hands. Chief Katrina Thompson will now present Secretary Buffalo with a token of appreciation.
Secretary Buffalo, we want to thank you for taking the time to come and speak to our class today. Your words resonate within all of us and help to not only confirm to the young women and men who are charged with wearing our uniform now and entering into our profession, it reminds their families as well of the challenge and charge that's being put before them. I want to put in your hands now our token of appreciation, and it says, Secretary Eddie M. Buffalo, Jr., in appreciation for your service as the graduation keynote speaker for WSPD BLET Class 77 of the Winston-Salem Police Department here on May 27th, 2022. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chief Thompson. Now please allow me to take a moment to introduce the full-time training staff. These dedicated individuals are committed to the success of our organization through the development and education of its personnel. This staff works tirelessly on numerous projects and programs while providing unwavering support to recruits and veteran officers as well. On many days, the training staff arrives way before dawn to begin physical training and then often work late into the evening. They are truly a team of professionals who devote all of their efforts to molding these individuals into a team and part of Winston-Salem's finest. Please stand and remain standing when your name is called. Assistant Chief William Penn, Jr., Captain Renee Melly, Lieutenant Tracy Wooten, Sergeant Samuel Langdon, Sergeant Michael Fleming, Corporal Kayla Schaus, Corporal Robert Perkins, Corporal Logan Collier, Police Officer Brian Dawson, Axon Coordinator Donna Brown, Training Coordinator Megan James, Senior Office Assistant Julie Keyser. Please join me in giving these individuals a well-deserved round of applause. Thank you. You may be seated. Not everyone who wants to become a police officer is accepted into the academy. The men and women of the recruiting division and human resources are members of the team who reviewed more than 190 applications to seat the group that included Class 77. If you are a member of the recruiting division or the human resources personnel who assisted in the application or selection process of these recruits, please stand and remain standing when your name is called. Assistant Chief William Penn, Jr., Captain Renee Melly, Lieutenant Tracy Wooten, Sergeant Amy Collins, Corporal Kelly Wilkes, Corporal Chris Dabb, Officer Jimmy Fulk, retired police officers Robert Boyd, Jimmy Boyd, Lyman Clark, James Johnson, David Lamb, and Debbie Wilkins. Please join me in giving these individuals a well-deserved round of applause. Thank you. You may be seated. I'll ask now that all instructors that assisted in any of the academy instruction and the graduating officers, field training officers, please stand and remain standing. There are more than 100 state-certified instructors in the police department and Forsyth Tech who contributed to the training of our recruits. These are but a small sampling of the instructor pool that provided more than 1,000 hours of instruction. Their dedication and hard work is a testament to their professionalism. Among these standing are representatives of the Post-Academy Training Program. They are the field training officers. WSPD's Post-Academy Training Program involves the assignment of entry-level officers to a field training officer, or as we call them, an FTO. The FTO serves as a guide and a model for the inexperienced officer. The FTO undertakes a dual role, that of police officer and trainer. As a trainer, the FTO must build upon the primary education that the entry-level officer has received. The FTO is the primary force that molds the new officer into a professional, productive member of the WSPD. Please join me in thanking the Academy instructors and our field training officers. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. You may be seated. Now, as is customary at Academy graduation, one recruit will deliver the graduation speech on behalf of Class 77. The recruits from Class 77 voted to have one of their classmates represent the entire class by delivering the graduation speech on behalf of Police Academy Class 77. The recruits representing and delivering the graduation speech for Class 77 is recruit Luke Alderman.
Good morning, everyone. Mayor Joins, City Council, City Leadership, Secretary Buffalo, thank you for being here today and for showing your support to our city and its citizens. Chief Thompson, command staff, training staff, and all the members of the Winston-Salem Police Department, thank you for everything that has led us to today. My name is Luke Alderman, and it's a tremendous honor to be able to speak to you today on behalf of Class 77. Before I begin, I want to take just a moment to thank the training staff that has been with us for the past 7 months. Each one of you has spent countless hours molding and shaping us into the best officers that we can be. You saw each of our strengths and helped us to hone those in. You also saw where we were weak, and you did what was necessary to strengthen us in that area. We can't thank you enough for what you have done for us. All the time and effort that you have put into getting us to where we are today has not gone unnoticed or unappreciated, so thank you. There are 3 words that will give each of us in Class 77 a very vivid mental picture. Haynes Park Hills. I see a couple shaking their heads and smiling. On multiple occasions, we had the opportunity to do our physical training at Haynes Park. If you've never been there, there are multiple hills around that area. Some are very steep and some are just a gradual incline. There's one hill in particular, though, that's on Clover Street, and that's directly in front of the park, that we had the pleasure of running just a few times. I say pleasure now, but I guarantee in the moment I wouldn't have said the same thing. We all started at the bottom of that hill. We began our trek up that hill together. We looked to the top as we began, and we realized that we had quite a ways to go. Some found it more difficult than others, but even then, the stronger ones in the class were there to give motivation and help along the way, one foot in front of the other. At some points on the hill, you felt stagnant, like the steps that you were pushing out were not doing what they were meant to do. Even still, we pressed on, going to our goal. Further and further up the hill we went, constantly looking to the top, looking to our destination. Huffing and puffing, we pushed forward with heavy legs, and then finally, through a test of perseverance and grit, we made it to the top. A sense of accomplishment would fill you for a moment as you look back down the hill, looking at what you had just conquered. I believe that this is a perfect representation of what the past 7 months has looked like for myself in Class 77. We all stood together at the beginning of our journey. We looked ahead to this very moment that we're standing in. But now, we knew that to get here meant that we had to walk a tough road. Looking at our class schedule was very daunting. We saw countless hours of classes and training, but when you turned to May 27th in the schedule, we saw graduation. I still remember vividly the morning of October 18th. We all were standing in the break room on the first day of our academy. All of us were there about 2 hours early, all of our minds racing and conjuring up scenarios of what that day would bring. Not one of us knew exactly what was coming, but we knew that we had a challenge ahead of us that's going to demand our best. We made it through that first week, through countless hours of PT and hallway sessions. We made it through a little sore, but we kept pushing on, persevering up that hill. Then came the academics. There were some in our class that excelled and some that struggled, but the ones that excelled did not leave the ones struggling without any motivation or any help. Just like when we ran, the strong ones helped the one that needed it. All of us were able to help in the area where we were strong and receive help in the area where we were weak. There were long days, days when it seemed like the clock hand stood still, days when it seemed like today would never come. But we knew that we had to keep pushing forward to the top of that hill. April 1st, state exam day, a very stressful day for all of us. All of the hours of instruction and training and studying was finally culminated into a 300-question test. And on the other side of that test, despite a couple of hiccups, all of us were successful. Again, we knew that wasn't the end. We looked to the top of the hill, constantly looking forward to this day, this very hour. Step by step and day by day, we knew that we were putting in hard work to accomplish our goal. The next big thing on our list was Officer Survival Week, a week where all of us would put all of the training that we had into practice through scenario-based calls. We all had moments where we struggled. We all had moments where we were on cloud 9 because we knew that we had just handled a call that went great and everything went to plan. But through all the highs and all of the lows, all of us came out on the other side of that week having gained a wealth of knowledge from various role players and proctors from our department. We all benefited greatly from that week. And to all the people in the room that helped out during that week, I want to extend a sincere thank you from myself in Class 77. That week was something that built into each and every one of us, and we would not be where we are today without that, so thank you. Now we're here, 77. We pushed through and we reached the top of that hill. We're going into a city that needs us. We're going to go out and combine all of our training and instruction to benefit the citizens that we serve. But right now, I want you just to take a moment and be proud of yourself. Be proud of what you have accomplished. I want you to look back down the hill and see how far you've come. There was one morning, we were actually at Haynes Park for PT. I was talking to Recruit Cardwell, and we were walking to the track getting ready for PT. And I remember having this very profound moment as we talked. We were talking about how the shoes that we were wearing that day were the same ones that we wore for day one in the first week. But we said that it was not the same person that was standing in those shoes. That's true for every one of you in Class 77. We are not the same as when we started. We have been trained to a high standard so that we can now serve a city that demands our best, and our best is what we're going to give it. I want to speak personally for just a moment to all the friends and the family of Class 77 here today. I want to tell you that I have firsthand witnessed your loved one do great things. Each one of them had moments where they were faced with a challenge, whether that be physical, academic, or just a tough situation. Each one of them faced that challenge head on. They didn't shy away. They were able to engage that challenge with determination and push through. You should be immensely proud of your loved one. In closing, I want to leave you all with a quote. This quote says, "The man who loves walking will walk further than the man who loves the destination." Yes, 77, we have reached our goal. We made it to graduation. We have persevered a long road to get to this point. But this is not the end. This is only the start. We have countless hills ahead of us. We have goals and we have dreams that lay in front of us. But I want to encourage you today to learn to love the process. Learn to embrace the road to the things that you want. This applies in your career, your relationships, your fitness, your hobbies. Learn to set a goal, but not just love the goal. Love the path to the goal. Enjoy the journey to get where you want to be, and you will go further than you thought possible. Thank you all.
Thank you, Recruit Alderman. I'm going to keep a copy of your speech so that I can keep myself encouraged, because that was great. Traditionally, the Winston-Salem Police Department presents special awards during graduation to members of each class who have distinguished themselves during the academy training. Today, we present 3 awards to members of Class 77. They are as follows: the Vivian H. Burke Character Award, the Honor Graduate Award, and our highest award, the Lieutenant Aaron G. Tice Jr. Colleague Award. We'll begin with the Vivian H. Burke Character Award, presented by our City Manager, Lee Garrity. Our City Manager, Mr. Lee Garrity, oversees the day-to-day operation and delivery of city services by more than 2,400 employees. He often notes that as one team, not public safety, not utilities, fire, or planning alone, but as one team, we can always rise above whatever challenges us. Please welcome our City Manager, Mr. Lee Garrity.
Good morning. Before I present this award, let me say just a couple things to the recruits and the family members. We are one team, the City of Winston-Salem, but I want to tell you that I'm very cognizant of the role that you choose to do, that you do for all of us, all 250,000 citizens of Winston-Salem. Too often, almost every night, your command staff sends out a one call, a recorded message about a major incident, and they wake up the mayor, the city council, myself, just to hear what's going on. And it's very short. Those are very difficult circumstances, and it happens a lot. And for myself, the city council, most residents of this city, we rest, we go back to sleep. We know that each of you are out there doing the things to keep us safe, sometimes, again, in horrific circumstances. We also know that your family members are at home worrying about that. And that is different than anything else that we do in city government. And I always keep that front and forefront in my mind about what you do, and I am deeply grateful for that. So thank you. Today I have the honor of presenting the Vivian H. Burke Character Award. You know, the dictionary defines character as what someone does when no one's looking. You don't do it for the image, you do it because it's the right thing to do. It's those attributes of core values of respect, of dignity, those things that we all know when we see them. This award is named for Vivian H. Burke, the late Mayor Pro Tem and council member of the Northeast Ward. She served as chairman of the Public Safety Committee for 36 years. She served on city council for 43 years until she passed away in May of 2020. Those of you who knew her knew that she was very concerned about character, dignity, professionalism, respect. just have her catch you one time not calling her by her appropriate title, and that was not a good thing. So it was very important to her to follow all the rules of respect and protocol. This award was established several years ago to honor recruits in both police and fire who demonstrate those qualities of integrity, ethical behavior, team building, and that overall strength of character. This year, and I think this is a first, for Class 77, 2 recruits were found to be evenly matched. It's a tie. Therefore, the Vivian H. Burke Character Award for Class 77 recipients are Recruit Francisco Garcia and Recruit Taylor Shoemaker. Come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Garrity, and congratulations. The Honor Graduate Award will be presented by Assistant Chief William Penn, Jr.
Good morning. I'd like to take this opportunity first to thank the guests again for coming to share this so much important ceremony with us. We appreciate that. I want to thank our WSPD employees for coming out today and welcoming Class 77 into the fold. And get this one here. I want to thank the media for being here and showing the community that we have 15 souls ready to answer the call for service. Thank you. The Honor Graduate entrance level training for Class 77 police officer trainees consisted of 1,174 hours of law enforcement training in 36 different subjects, requiring a written exam or practical exam. The Honor Graduate is presented each year to the trainee who has the highest academic grade point average overall. The Honor Graduate for Police Academy Class 77 completed the training with a 97.7 GPA. Yeah. The Honor Graduate Award goes to Recruit Taylor Shoemaker. Now for the Lieutenant Aaron Jerome Tice Junior Colleague Award. If you were to take a survey asking the community to identify those qualities it desires in police officers, the list would likely include words such as honesty, hardworking, competent, and professional, just to name a few. If you were to survey a police department asking officers to identify those same qualities they desire in a coworker, you would likely see the words I've already mentioned, along with words such as courageous, strong, trustworthy, and dependable. A few weeks before each recruit class graduation, all members of the class are asked to vote for one of their peers who they believe best demonstrates those qualities that we all recognize within the best men and women our profession has to offer. Class 77 has chose that representative from within their ranks. The Lieutenant Aaron Jerome Tice Jr. Colleague Award for Class 77 is presented to Recruit Taylor Shoemaker. Now, I could have kept him up here, but that would have been no fun.
Thank you, Chief Penn. Accompanying Chief Penn on the stage was the wife of Lieutenant Tice, Ms. Tanya Tice. And let's please pause for a moment of silence to remember Lieutenant Aaron G. Tice, Jr. Again, thank you, Chief Penn and Mrs. Tice, Assistant Chief Penn and Mrs. Tice. At the beginning of the academy, Class 77 was issued a class flag known as a guidon. The guidon served as a symbol for the class and represented the solidarity that the class pledged to their training. If the guidon was flying, class was in session. The class guidon bearer, Recruit Nathan Wise, will now turn the guidon over to the class leader, Recruit Taylor Shoemaker. Recruit Shoemaker will then return the guidon to Sergeant Langdon, signifying the conclusion of the academy. Sergeant Langdon, please retire the guidon. Katrina Thompson is the 15th Chief of Police for the City of Winston-Salem. She is a native of Detroit, Michigan, where she graduated from Wayne State University with a Bachelor of Science degree in criminal justice. Additionally, she holds a master's degree in public administration from Appalachian State University. Chief Thompson is a member of New Mount Zion Primitive Baptist Church and serves as the immediate past president of the Mental Health Association of Forsyth County Board of Directors, president of the Caladium Board of Directors, member of the United Way of Forsyth County and Senior Services Foundation boards. She is also a member of the North Carolina Chief Justice Commission on Fairness and Equity. In 2018, she received the Criminal Justice of the Year Award from the Ministers' Conference of Winston-Salem and vicinity. She was also recognized by Black Business Inc. magazine as one of the 50 most influential African Americans in the Piedmont Triad. In May 2021, she was named a member of the inaugural cohort of the Hunt State Policy Fellows Program by the Hunt Institute. During her 28 years with the Winston-Salem Police Department, Chief Thompson has served as the Assistant Chief in charge of Investigative Services Bureau. She graduated from Leadership Winston-Salem, class of 2016, the 2017 Public Executive Leadership Academy of the School of Government at UNC Chapel Hill, the West Point Leadership Program of Methodist University, and the FBI Law Enforcement Executive Leadership Association Program. As chief, she leads a department of over 410 sworn officers, 150 civilian positions, and an annual budget of $80 million. She is married to Alonzo Thompson, a former assistant chief of police with the Winston-Salem Police Department and current chief of police for the Spartanburg, South Carolina Police Department. They have 2 children, Allison and Christopher. Her philosophy of life is to shoot for the moon, because even if you miss, you will land among the stars. Chief Thompson will now conduct the final verification of Police Academy completion and the issuance of certificates and badges.
Good morning. Thank you all again for being here. Congratulations, class. We're super proud of you. And by the way, we need every one of you on the street. Before I get started, I want to take time to make sure everyone understands and knows who Ms. Tice is. Ms. Tice, would you please stand? We explained the Colleague Award to you. We want to also explain to you, and you will see it on page 13 of your programs. Lieutenant Tice in 1992 paid the ultimate sacrifice for this community and for our organization. And we are absolutely honored that his widow takes the time to come and be a part of our service, and she's been doing this for many, many years. So I just wanted you to know who she is, why she's here, and to thank her for continuing to stand and support the Winston-Salem Police Department. Class, we've talked many times, last time being yesterday. Remember the discussions that we had. Remember what you wrote on your applications and during your interviews about why you wanted to serve as a Winston-Salem Police Department. Remember the message that was given to you by members of command staff yesterday. Also, remember your answers to the questions that Captain Allen asked. Families, Thank you so much for supporting the women and men of Class 77. Because of your support, your understanding, your sacrifices, they're able to make it to this point. And I'll tell you, this is just the beginning. They will continue to need your support, your understanding, and your unconditional love. We also want to let you know that we have, if you have not heard, a Blue Line group, and that's an organization here that's made up of families of our law enforcement officers. And we'd be more than happy to provide you additional information. But Miss Sarah Langdon, the wife of Sergeant Langdon, is over that group. So please let us know if you'd like additional information. The support that comes from that group is priceless. Sergeant Langdon. Yes, Chief. Front and center, sir. Sergeant Langdon, as the duly appointed Basic Law Enforcement Training Sergeant for the Winston-Salem Police Department, do you personally certify that the students of Class 77 of the Winston-Salem Police Department have met all school requirements and regulations and have successfully completed all courses and activities that comprise the police basic law enforcement training?
Yes, Chief.
Sergeant Langdon, having provided assurance that the members of Class 77 of the Winston-Salem Police Academy have met all requirements which entitle them to receive a certificate signifying successful completion of the Winston-Salem Police Department's prescribed training program, please present these students for graduation the receipt of their certificates and the badges of their office.
Yes, Chief. Row one, on your feet.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a tradition with Graduation Academy that as I call the name of each recruit, they shall come forward and receive their certificate and be congratulated by dignitaries on stage. Additionally, as part of our ceremony, each member of Class 77 has selected someone to share in the honor of presenting him or her with the badge of office and the pinning of it upon them for the first time. This badge of honor serves as a symbol of public faith. It is accepted as an acknowledgement of public trust and obligates those who wear it to extremely high standards of personal and professional conduct well beyond the expectations of the citizens you serve. Class 77, you are fully aware that not everyone can earn this badge. Be proud of your accomplishments and never tarnish the image of the badge you are about to receive. I would like for those friends and family members who have been selected to pin the badge on your loved one to now move to the front right of the room to the wall near the backdrop and wait for your officer to arrive. Is the weight making you all nervous? Okay. So if you've been following us on social media, we have a series called Rookie Files. This was my opportunity to really tell the story, or our opportunity to tell the story of what our rookies were going through during their 31 weeks. And I will say, it has been truly an honor and a pleasure to see the growth of these individuals throughout this process. When we had our first Rookie Files, we interviewed 4 recruits who were very nervous, and I remember asking one of them, and they said, I just hope I make it to the end. And you all made it to the end, so I hope that you all are very proud of yourselves, and I really encourage you all to watch our Rookie Files on our Facebook and Twitter pages if you get the chance to see their growth throughout this process. Are we ready to move forward? Okay, thank you. In keeping with the dignity of this ceremony, I ask that you hold your applause until all the graduates have received the oath of office, have recited the oath of office. Luke Alderman. Emmanuel Avila. Maxwell Bovard. Dylan Cardwell. Andrew Conway. Francisco Garcia. Edris Granados. Danny Muhammad. Trey Newman. James Nolette. Trevor Rose. Alexandra Sebastian. Taylor Shoemaker. Benjamin Stamey. Nathan Wise. I will now call forward the Clerk of Superior Court, Denise Hines, to administer the oath of office. I ask that all sworn personnel stand and remain standing.
Please raise your right hand and place your left hand on the Bible. I
Luke Alderman. Emmanuel Avila.
Maxwell Bogart.
Dylan Cardwell.
Andrew Conway. Francisco Garcia.
Edris Granados. Danny Muhammad.
Trey Newman. James Nolet.
Trevor Rose.
Alexandra Sebastian.
Taylor Shoemaker. Benjamin Stamey. Nathan Wise.
do solemnly swear that I will be alert and vigilant to enforce the criminal laws of this state. That I will not be influenced in any manner on account of personal bias or prejudice. That I will support and maintain the Constitution. And the laws of the United States. And the Constitution and laws of the state of North Carolina. Not inconsistent therewith. And that I will faithfully and impartially discharge. And execute the duties of my office. As a law enforcement officer. According to the best of my skills, abilities, and judgment. So help me God. Congratulations, class of '77.
Class 77, you are officially members of an elite group of highly trained officers, and you are held by both the public and the government to the highest standards of conduct. Those standards, known as the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics, is printed in today's program on page 14. I invite the audience to follow along as these new officers join all sworn law enforcement personnel here today in reciting this code. Will be led by Assistant Chief W.S. Weaver II.
Friends and family, thank you once again for joining us on this wonderful occasion. You may be seated. Will all North Carolina certified law enforcement officers please remain standing? We will recite the North Carolina Criminal Justice Education and Training Standards Commission Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. Let us begin. As a law enforcement officer, my fundamental duty is to serve mankind, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or disorder, and to respect the constitutional rights of all men to liberty, equality, and justice. I will keep my private life unsullied as an example to all, maintain courageous calm in the face of danger, scorn, or ridicule, develop self-restraint, and be constantly mindful of the welfare of others, honest in thought and deed in both my personal and official life. I will be exemplary in obeying the laws of the land and the regulations of my department. Whatever I see or hear of a confidential nature or that is confided to me in my official capacity will be kept ever secret unless revelation is necessary in the performance of my duty. I will never act officiously or permit personal feelings, prejudices, animosities, or friendships to influence my decisions. With no compromise for crime and with relentless prosecution of criminals, I will enforce the law courteously and appropriately without fear or favor, malice or ill will, never employing unnecessary force or violence, and never accepting gratuities. I recognize the badge of my office as a symbol of faith, and I accept it as a public trust to be held so long as I am true to the ethics of police service. I will constantly strive to achieve these objectives and ideals, dedicating myself before God to my chosen profession, law enforcement. Class 77, congratulations. Welcome to the Field Services Bureau Patrol Division. Thank you.
Thank you, Assistant Chief Weaver. We ask that you please remain seated while our guests, the new graduates, and the veteran officers with the Winston-Salem Police Department exit the room. Thank you for coming, and please join the recruits and staff in the foyer to offer your congratulations after they all exit the room, of course. Photographers will remain here for the next 30 minutes for family and officer photographs. Sergeant Langdon, please dismiss the class.
Police officers of Class 77, attention.